Hi. Randy's Nick's best friend.
Work the mic, please.
Can you hear me now?
Thank you.
How about now? Okay. I have to admit, I was a little jealous when I read all of the Facebook postings about Randy. All the incredible things, all the tributes that were made. I was jealous because those were the things I wanted to say to Randy. Those are the ways she made me feel. I was jealous because this was my friend you were talking about. This was my Randy. But that's what was so special about her. Her spirit was so infectious and her heart was so big. She could wrap you up in them and make you feel like you were her best friend. She could encourage and inspire. And if you didn't live up to her expectations, well, she'd kick your butt. And it wouldn't make any difference if it was someone from school or work or play. Because let me tell you, Randi could play as hard as she worked. There just weren't enough hours in the day for her to do everything she wanted. In our poker group, she'd be the one who'd say, let's have one more hand. Come on, one more game. And if we were talking too much, which we always do, she'd say, shut up. Come on, hurry up and deal. When we went to Vegas, well, you know what they say. A few years later, we went to New Orleans, and ditto from New Orleans. But I can tell you about one of my favorite adventures with Randi. We went to Chicago, rented a car, and drove back every inch of the original Route 66, all the way to Santa Monica. Peggy drove, I took pictures, and Randi navigated. She made sure we didn't miss any little out-of-the-way spot. She made sure that we didn't miss any local monument. And she made sure that we didn't miss seeing one more giant muffler man. And all the time she's saying, this is so fun. I first met Randi in 1985 when we opened Trabuco Hills High School in Mission Viejo. You could say our friendship kind of started on a bang. She was at that time teaching band and orchestra, and I was teaching Spanish. And it was great until she started to have her band play, because we found out that the walls between our classrooms were not soundproof. On one of our first graduations, we taught half a day, and then we had lunch with our colleagues. We went and had a 2-hour golf lesson, made it back to the graduation ceremony, and later that night went out dancing. And the whole day she's saying, this is so fun. One winter, Susan and Randi and I went to New York, and we flew into Newark Airport, where her dad had left us a car. We had to dig it out of the snow first. We made it into the city and miraculously found a parking spot. We then raced from Times Square. We went out and took the Staten Island Ferry. We went up Wall Street. We had pizza, New York style, folded in half. We went to Trump Tower, so we saw Eddie Murphy coming out with his new bride. And we went to the Russian tea room, and then we drove to New Jersey, where her parents lived, and we spent the night, got up the next morning, and did another 24 hours of nonstop. And the whole time, Randi's saying, this is so fun. And that's it. It was fun. And it didn't make any difference if there was a group of us, or like our first Oscar party, just the 3 of us, my husband Kip, Randi, and me. It was always a party because Randi was there. And I know right now she's having a poker party and telling the angels, hurry up and deal. This is so fun. Thank you.
See you. It's kind of weird, kind of good. I'm Peggy Stewart, and according to the program, I am also one of her best friends. I'm going to carry my tissue because I'll probably need it. Do me a favor. If I start to cry, just yell out, "You love me," even if you don't. That'll help. because that's sort of been my goal, is to try and get through this and not cry. When Dave asked me a couple weeks ago to speak, of course I said yes. And I've been pondering and pondering since that time. What would I say? How much do I say? I don't have a speech. I've tried to sit and write things, and I just don't know where to start. But my goal was to keep it light, so that I wouldn't cry, and not bore you too much. But some of you know me, many of you know me. Both my boys were a product of Randi here at Los Alamedas Choir. Ian is my older one, 2004, and Jimmy, 2008. Neither one of them are here. They both live in New York and are working, but their heart is here. So I'm representing the family. I'll just let you know, I don't know how our friendship really turned into what it did, because I kind of didn't like her at first. And I know that sounds terrible, and I'll tell you why. And it really wasn't anything about her, but my son Ian didn't sing in his freshman year, which was fine. I didn't even know he could sing. But he went to, it's somewhere in the 9th grade, I think it was maybe the spring concert. He came home and he said, I'm gonna try out for choir, concert choir, which is now Expressions, I think. And I said, fine. He says, Mom, beautiful girls in choir. I said, okay, fine. And I had thoughts of Glee Club in my head from high school, which was always quite boring. But I thought, whatever, I'll support him. So he went and he auditioned, and he came back and he said, well, she put me in this other thing called show choir, which is now sound effects. I said, can you sing? And he said, well, she seems to think I can. I think she just needed a tall boy. I had no idea what we were in for. None. So the first concert rolls around in his sophomore year, and he comes home on a weekend with this costume list. And in this costume list says he needs purple pants or yellow pants or green pants or suspended, I don't know. He's 5'2". Where am I going to find this? And he says, and Mom, I have to have it on Tuesday. I said, what is this woman crazy? And he says, well, Mom, Miss Carp says, because she wasn't Dr. Carp then. I came to dread those words, Miss Carp says. So we found the cockamamie, whatever it was we needed to get, we got it because Miss Carp says, and I didn't want to be the bad parent. So we get through the first concert, and I was pleasantly surprised. It was a really good concert. Okay, now we get into November, and it's Monday of Thanksgiving week, and it's at 6 o'clock in the evening, and Ian says, Miss Carp says I have to bring a fully cooked turkey to school Wednesday morning for the show choir Thanksgiving feast. I said, Ian, is she crazy? Oh, now I'm hating her. It's a Monday. I said, turkeys are frozen. And I am not going to go out and spend money on a fresh turkey. It's just not happening. So we went up to Ralph's, got the biggest frozen turkey we could get. I had read someplace if you put it in the sink and you leave it there for 48 hours or whatever, it'll defrost. So anyway, off he goes Wednesday morning with that fully cooked turkey because Miss Carp says. I come to find out a few weeks later he had volunteered. Story of my life. So anyway, we got through choir, I got involved. Now, by the way, Ian also said to me I was never ever to speak to her. And I was never ever to ask about a solo. And I said, honey, at this point I don't ever want to speak to her. I don't think I even want to see her. So that's kind of how it went. But somehow we found each other. Well, I think she pursued me because I wasn't allowed to talk to her. So anyway, somehow this friendship just formed. And it is still to this day a mystery to me. But one of the best things that has happened to me in my life, I think when you get to be in your 40s. When I was that age, I never thought I'd get to be my 40s. Now I'm almost 60. That's really frightening. But I never thought you would find a friend like that. I just thought you always found friends like that when you were young. And here I found a friend like her, and we've been on so many adventures, and we've shared so many things, both in choir and then outside of choir. We had to keep our relationship secret for a while because, long story, but I won't go there. So we were kind of hiding our relationship. But I think, finally the word was out that we were dating, and that was that. So anyway, then my next child comes along, and he really wasn't going to sing in choir. But again, the girl factor, Ian said, dude, you're in jazz band, there's 20 guys and 2 girls. Choir, there's 40 boys and 200 girls. Do the math. So my son gave up jazz band and went right into choir, and I think there was no regrets. Fortunately, I was able to keep a relationship going with her after she moved to Philadelphia. I went back many times. She came here many times. She always stayed a couple days with me, and we just would hang out in our pajamas and drink coffee and watch Regis and Kelly, now Michael and Kelly, and The View, and it's a magical thing that we had. And it's really hard, now that's when the tears might come, so I apologize. It's very hard for me to imagine that I'm not gonna get a text from her. And I saved all the last quite a few texts that she gave me. And I'm not going to hear her voice. And I don't know, it's a hard thing to wrap my head around. I just wish somebody would come up and pinch me really hard and say that this hasn't happened, that this is a dream or a nightmare. But that's not the case.
We love you, Peggy.
Thank you. Thank you. So I'm trying. I don't want to bring it on a down note. I think she would. I think she knew how much she was loved, and I can see that the people that are here and there, that you've come from far away, some of you, and really you're here to celebrate this wonderful woman. I think she is a person, one of the most unforgettable people I will have ever known and will ever know. In that little tiny body, what a vibrant, shining star that she was. And when I look at night up into the stars now, I look for the brightest star up there, and I really do think that that's her. So anyway, thank you. I love you all. Bye.